My friend just interrupted me by calling me. So, I'm going to continue the last video and then go into the second part of the video. So anyways, I draw myself a lot. I do my nails a lot. I really like messing with my hair and makeup. Just certain things to get your mind off stuff. Also, you could talk to a counselor. I'm sure they can give you tips. But reasons why I don't really recommend a counselor. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works really well for kids who go to counselors. But, they may have gone through that experience, but it's probably been a while. So I think looking at videos and getting different opinions from kids who've gone through it or who are going through it, they have more experience. It's very recent. They kind of know what they're doing, kind of. They obviously don't have a license in it, but, they if they've made it by so far, then they're probably doing a pretty good job. I don't know. Bruh. Why you do this? Okay. So another thing is basically getting a pet. You're a pet, you have to put all your focus onto that pet, and they're loving. It's not like they can just go call you a bitch and then leave. They're there. They love you and they care about you as you would care about them, and yeah. Now, I don't really know the struggle of having parents who don't really listen to you. My parents are very understanding, and they do. When I did self-harm, they did know I self-harmed, and they weren't like, oh my god, you're such a weirdo. They were very supportive, and they said, I'm sorry, if you ever feel like doing that, just come to me, we'll talk, we can watch a movie, we can just get your mind off things, we can go for a drive if you want, just whatever. So I don't really know the struggle of having non-supporting parents, but if you guys do, don't, just because they're not supporting with everything, don't keep things a secret from them. Some things you might think they won't be supportive of, but they actually might. Grades. If they're very strict on grades, yeah, it's a small thing, but if you told them that you self-harmed, maybe they would take it more seriously, and maybe they would help you, or, Another thing is, don't be afraid to yell, actually. If your parents are strict, or they're very careless, like they really just don't care, you told them they self-harmed, they really didn't care, they didn't want to do anything about it, sometimes you do need to yell. Yell at them. I mean, don't, physically hurt them or anything, but if you need to yell at them and get the point that you hurt yourself on a daily basis and you need help and you want to get better, and they're not helping you with that, yell that at them. I mean, obviously, if you're yelling, they're going to listen, and they're maybe will think about it more. With me, I don't really know what the change was. I think it was just maturing. I've gotten very carefree, and you can't just, not care about something. Say you don't care and then suddenly not care. It takes, I don't even know what it takes. Because that gut feeling, like if you fail a quiz, and you actually do care, but you say you don't care, obviously inside you care, and it's really eating you alive, telling people you don't care. Because then you're known as the person that doesn't care about their grades, or that bottles their feelings, or you just, it's not a good feeling. It's really not. And so my last point before I move on is, okay, if you guys are friends and then you stop being friends, don't cry, don't mourn. I mean, obviously you want to cry. Cry when you need to. Yell and scream when you need to. If you need to throw pillows at lamps, go ahead. But when you guys stop being friends, try and accustom yourself to, and get used to not having them there. Get used to surviving without them. Get used to, turning to other friends and having different friends you can turn to. Not every single friend you have is always going to be there, so it's always good to have backup plans. And so if you're so used to not having them in your life, and they decide, we made up, we want to be friends again, it's all good, then sure, yeah, you can be friends, it's not a big deal. But if it happens again and you guys get in another fight and stop being friends, you're already used to not having them in your life. It's not really that big of a change, and it's not a lot to deal with. I lied. One more thing is, if you're stressed out about school, this will be in another video about how to deal with stress. But if you're stressed out about school, or if you're stressed out about your friends and school's just piling onto that, it's okay to get bad grades every once in a while. I mean, don't just flunk school. But, I mean, if you just can't do it and you're very overwhelmed, just push aside the paper. If you fail, you fail. Your mental health is far more important than doing that English paper in third period. Okay, so I'm going to move on for the last, I'm going to move on for the last 3 minutes into the dealing and coping with a family member. So recently, I can relate, I lost my grandpa, and we were very close, and we had a lot of good times, and we always went to Fazoli's, which is a spaghetti restaurant, and spent our time there. If I'm being honest, I never got over him. I'm still not over him. I really don't have a big knowledge on getting over the loss of a family member as I do, like, with a friend when they fight and stop being friends. But I mean, I do think the same rules for when you're not friends apply to, the loss of grandparents. Find new hobbies, get rid of pictures of them. If you want to keep those pictures, go ahead and keep them, but just put them in a place where you know where they are, but you don't look at it every day. You don't have a constant reminder. And with me, my friends, it's very sad because majority of my friends have depression, or they get depressed, or they have bad families, or they're sad because, a family member died. I don't really have advice for getting over a loss. So look at my last video and the beginning of this one for that. But I do have advice for helping someone with a friend problem or a loss. If you may get in trouble with your parents, but if they really need a hug and they're having a panic attack or something, and they live near you, or you have a car and can drive to them, don't waste any time. Go to them. I've offered so many times, so many people, so many of my friends have been in tears, and they wanted to self-harm, but they didn't know what to do. They didn't want to, but then they did, and they were just so upset. I've offered so many times to drive to them, and they've been too scared that their parents would get in trouble by their parents. And if you're crying and your friend offers to come over, accept it. In the moment your parents may be mad, but at the end of the day, they love you and they know that you needed a friend. And, even though it may have been 3 a.m. on a school night, you needed a friend, and they were there for you, and they shouldn't ban that. If you are the friend that you offer to go to your friend's house, of course, go to them. Just go. Or if you really need to, it doesn't always work as well as being in person and hugging them, but if you need to stay up all night and text them, go ahead. Sometimes, you just need to, and if you need to stay up till 7 a.m. and skip school because you didn't get any sleep because you were helping your friend not self-harm or commit suicide or just make them feel better, then go ahead and do it. Take the day off. You're doing a good deed for somebody, therefore you have the right to take the day off, to give yourself a little break. So I'm not sure if this was helpful enough. Sorry these videos were very long and not edited. I'm not good with editing, actually. I really hope this helped you guys, and I love you all, and if you need help, go ahead and comment or message me or anything, because I will be more than willing to help. My next video will be probably a Christmas haul about all my Christmas presents, and how to deal with stress on school and family and friends and all that jazz, and probably a daily makeup video. I don't know, like, you know, my makeup routine. It's not much, it's just eyeliner. Anyways, I love you all. I'm coming up with a nickname for you. I know I've come up with some in the past, but I always forget them. It's like, I don't even know. I love you.